Greetings, everyone listening out there. I would like to welcome you back to the King and I Life podcast and another segment of African American figures, places, and events hosted by Soul Touch the Poet. Today I'm going to talk to you about Thomasina Tommie Bowie. Thomasina Tommie Bowie was born Thomasina Two Pants on November 1st, 1925 in Washington, D.C. to Thomas and Hester Two Pants. The family lived in West Point, Virginia. Mr. Two Pants owned a plastering business while Mrs. Two Pants worked as a homemaker caring for the couple's 7 children. The couple searched for a better life for the young family, moved them from West Point to New York City, then to Pittsburgh, and finally returned to West Point, Virginia. Tommie attended West Point Colored Elementary School as a child and later graduated from Beverly Allen High School. In 1943, she entered Bennett College in Greenville, North Carolina, and then transferred to Virginia State College in Petersburg, Virginia, earning her bachelor's degree in her chosen field of physical education. Ms. Bowie taught in several junior and senior high schools until her retirement from teaching in 1985, including Central High School in Charlotte Courthouse, Virginia, where she coached the girls' basketball team and applied her musical talents as a piano player for the school's choir, Robert Moulton High School in Westminster, Maryland, Charles Hamilton Houston Junior High School, Carrollton Junior High School, Harlem Park Junior High School. In 1953, Thomasina Two Pants married Roger Bowie to become Thomasina Tommie Bowie. The couple had an interesting beginning as they both lived in West Point, Virginia. Mrs. Bowie's grandmother worked as a midwife in their town and delivered Mr. Bowie, the youngest of 4, and his 3 older brothers. After the union, Mr. and Mrs. Bowie moved to a home on Druid Hill Avenue in Baltimore City to start a family. The Bowies were blessed with a son and a daughter. At the age of 16 months, their daughter was diagnosed with juvenile diabetes. This became an impetus for Mrs. Bowie, as she became an activist and champion of education for diabetes in youth. She became the first African American president of the Women's League for Diabetic Children and Adults. In this capacity, Mrs. Bowie traveled tirelessly to garner funding to construct and establish a camp geared toward educating diabetic children. Along with Dr. Abraham Silver, the head of Baltimore Sinai Hospital Diabetic Camp, a 48-acre plot of land in Baltimore County's Reisterstown area, now called Camp Glyndon, came to fruition. Attendance at this camp means children between the ages of 5 and 16 years old learn how to live and remain healthy with diabetes. At the end of the time spent at the camp, children learn the importance of establishing and remaining compliant with their insulin regimens. Regular exercise is an integral part of a healthy balance for diabetes, and the youth experience access to physical activities such as swimming, basketball, tennis, softball, canoeing, paddle boats, and hiking, to name a few. To think the diagnosis of diabetes in a young child could spark an initiative to create a safe place for children to learn and grow is truly remarkable. On August 23, 2020, Tommie Bowie succumbed to COVID-19 at the age of 94. Her family reported the desire to wait until advancements in vaccination efforts were underway to properly memorialize Miss Bowie's life and accomplishments. Thank you for joining us today on another episode of African American Historical Places, Figures, and Events. If you would like to give us feedback or input on this topic or other topics, submit your request to kingandI369@gmail.com. That's KINGANDEYE369@gmail.com. Thank you again for listening to the King and I Life podcast, and have a great day.